Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's tutorial we're going to be looking at coroutines and IEnumerators. So we're just going to create a simple application that changes the background color of the image when a button is clicked. So if I play this for you, 5 4 3 2 1, change. Okay, so there you see it changes one time, should change again, one more time, and it will change for the last time now to orange. Okay, so it's just a quick tutorial just to show you guys how coroutines work, and let's get into it. And once again guys, if you do enjoy this video and if you learn something from this video, please consider subscribing. My channel is a new channel, so it will be greatly appreciated. Okay, cool. So I just have a basic scene open. It's a 2D scene. It's a new scene. I just saved it in my documents folder, and you can save it wherever you like. The first thing we're going to do is go into the hierarchy and we're going to create a canvas. We're going to right click on that canvas and create a image. So we're going to go down to UI and select image. We're going to go into the rect transform and click the icon, hold down Shift and Alt and just click on the bottom right just to stretch it across the canvas so we get a nice background. So while we're here, we're just going to rename this image to image background or background image. Okay, the next thing we want to do is maybe choose a color for this background image as a default color. So I already have a color, I'm just going to paste that in, but you can put whatever you like. So the next thing we want to do is create a Text Mesh Pro button. So we have something to call our function when we do create one. We're going to go into the multi-tool and we're going to just scale that up a bit. We're going to rename this to Start Coroutine Button. And we're going to expand this and select the text, and this we're going to change the text to Start Coroutine. Oh, we're actually going to name this Start Color Change, because when we click this button we want the background colors to start changing. Then while we're here, we're just going to drop this font size down a bit, and we can just select the button again and rename this to Start Color Change. I'm going to select it again and just scale that up a bit, bring it down a bit. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to do was create a small timer or a simple timer just to show you guys that is actually a delay before the color change. So we can just create a UI Text Mesh Pro. We're going to bring that up a bit and we can rename this to, sorry about that, we can rename this to timer text. And we can go into the text and we can just put a default value of 5. We're going to increase the font size, something around there, and we'll just make it fit nicely. We'll centralize it quickly while we're here. Okay, and then lastly we just want to bring it up so it's positioned nicely. And that's it for our UI. Don't forget to press Ctrl S or to save your work. Okay, the next thing we want to do is create our script and do all of the functionality. So we're going to right click in our assets, go to create, go to C# script, and we're going to call this change color controller. We're going to double click on it, and on my side it's going to open up in Visual Studio. On your side it might open up in MonoDevelop. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is delete the start and update functions for now. We probably are going to use it later, or we probably not, but just to clean up everything. Okay, so let's take care of the first thing that we want to do. Okay, we want to change the color of the background image. We want a small delay and then change the color. So what we want to do is we want to create a public image, and we can call this BG image. And the reason it gives us squiggly is because we need to include a library, and that library is called using Unity Engine.ui. Okay, the next thing we want to do is create a list of colors. So the way we can do that is public list. We can just use color 32 and we can just call this color list. Okay, sweet. So now it's time to create our function. So our function is going to be called start the color change. So we can create a simple function. We'll say public void start the color change. Okay, cool. So now we're going to go on to the purpose of our video, and the purpose of our video is to use a coroutine and the IEnumerator. So the way that we do that is when we create a function using a coroutine or IEnumerator, the way to define the function is to call the IEnumerator and then your function name. So I'm just going to say change BG color. Okay, and this function obviously needs to return something, okay, because we're using the IEnumerator, and generally what it returns is, or what the definition is, or what we use as syntax is a yield return new. And in the purposes of this video, we're going to be using a function called waitForSeconds, and the reason we're using this is because we want to wait for a certain amount of seconds before we can actually do the next change. So in this case, I'm just going to set this to 5. Okay, and there you see it likes that, everything is nice. So what do we want to do? We want to loop through our list, and for every item in our list we want to change the background color. Okay, so we can do that simply by creating a for loop, and we can say int I is equal to 0, I is less than color list. That should be fine. And we're going to take this return, put it in here, and now it's time to actually set the each color in the list to the actual background color. So let's do that. We're going to say bg image dot color, because we want to access the color component of the image, is equal to color list, and because we're going to iterate through that, we're going to pass in I there. Okay, so that should take care of our color change. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we need to, you see how it's like this function name is dulled out because we're not using it anywhere. Now we need to use it. So when we use the IEnumerator, the way to call our function or to get everything working is we use the function name or the call name called start coroutine, and in that we pass our function name. So in this parentheses here, we're going to pass our function name. So we're going to pass in change BG color, open close, and we're just going to close it off with a nice semicolon. Okay, cool. So that runs fine. The next thing we wanted to do is just to create a simple timer, just to show you guys that there is a 5-second delay before each color is changing. So what we're going to do there is we're going to create a public text mesh pro UGUI, and we're going to call it timer text. Okay, the reason that also gives us a squiggly is because we need to include the library called using TM Pro. Okay, and then we also need a float timer value, and we're just going to set that to 5 seconds for now. Okay, so we're actually going to be using another coroutine because we already used it, and you guys should be familiar with it by now. Okay, so the function we want to create is we're going to say a public void, and we're going to say start timer. Okay, undo that. We're going to say start timer, and in the bottom we're going to create our IEnumerator. So we're going to say call IEnumerator, and then our function name, which is timer start. Okay, so what do we want to do now? We want to say for every time that this list is waiting, or for every second it's waiting, we want to just display a countdown. Okay, so for now you don't have to worry too much about what I'm actually typing, but just follow along. It should make sense to you because it's fairly easy. So we're just going to create a quick for loop. We're going to say I is equal to 0, and because I have 4, or I am going to set 4 values in the list, it's going to be 20 seconds. So I'm just going to say I is less than or equal to 20, and here we're just going to set timer text dot text is equal to timer. So that sets it to 5 in the beginning, and we'll just put a toString there so that it can be displayed in the UI. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to decrement from timer for every second that's going by. So we'll say timer minus minus and we'll close that off. Then we want to wait 1 second and then run this over and over. Okay, so let's do that. So how we do that is, if you guys remember on top, in order to wait, we say yield return new waitForSeconds, and now we want to wait 1 second. So we pass in 1 and we close that off. But now we also want to do a check. Okay, so when it goes 5 4 3 2 1 0, on 0 the color is going to change, but we want it to go back to 5 and start the count again because we have another change, and that will go 4 times. So we can do a small check here. We'll say if the timer is equal to 0, then we want to set the timer back to 5. Okay, and that should be it, and all we need to do here is call our start coroutine and pass our function name through, which is timer start, open close, and we'll close it off with a semicolon. Cool, so that should take care of all our scripting. Let's head over to Unity and hook everything up. So in Unity, we're going to right click in our hierarchy and we're going to create a empty game object. We're going to rename this to change color controller, and we're going to go in its transform and reset the values. Then we're going to drag and drop our script onto it, and you see on the right hand side we have all these public variables that we need to populate. So the first one it needs is a BG image, which is our background image, so let's drag that in there. And the next thing it needs is a color list, so we want 4 colors. We're going to specify 4 and click enter, and here you see it gives us 4 elements where we can select 4 different colors. So you guys can feel free to select whatever colors you want quickly. Okay, I'm just gonna go orange. Don't forget to turn your alpha value all the way up. So next color we'll go with something like green, then we go with blue, and the last color I want to go with is purple. Cool, and the last thing it needs is a timer text, which is this text. Let's drag that in. We click on the button, we go all the way down to its on click event, we drag our controller in, select our script, select our function, which is start the color change. So let's click the button again, and we need to add another on click event. We drag our controller in and select our script, select our function, which is start timer, Control S to save our work, and let's play that again. So we'll click start color change, and here we see it 5 4 3 2 1 change color. 5 4 3 2 1, it should change again. 5 4 3 2 1, change again, and the last time 5 4 3 2 and 1. Awesome. So guys, that was just simply to show you how coroutines work, and I hope you guys learned a lot from it. Once again, if you did enjoy this video, please consider subscribing and be sure to look out for more awesome tutorials in the future. Cheers.